Okay, hi everybody. We're going to be getting the streamers up and running here, so we're starting a little bit earlier. Hope everything is going well. Hope you enjoyed your weekend. Let's put in a little bit before the radio show starts. Let's put in a couple of commercials here.
In the professional safety community, communication and planning are just a few keys to your program's success. The question many practitioners have is, where do I start? Dr. Jay Allen, the creator of the Safety FM platform and host of the Rated R Safety Show, has built a global foundation to help you along the way. Go to safetyfm.com and listen to some of the industry's best and most involved professionals, including Blaine Hoffman with the Safety Pro, Sam Goodman with the Hop Nerd, Sheldon Primus with the Safety Consultant, Jim Pozell with Safety Wars, Emily Elrod with Unapologetically Bold, and many others. As individuals, we can do great things, but as a team, we become amazing. Dial into safetyfm.com today and surround yourself with a powerful force of knowledge and support.
Hi, this is Jim from Safety Wars. Before we start the program, I want to make sure everyone understands that we often talk about OSHA and EPA citations, along with some other regulatory actions from other agencies, legal cases, and criminal activity. Everyone is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Proposed fines are exactly that, and they are often litigated, reduced, or vacated. We use available public records, news accounts, and press releases. We cannot warranty or guarantee the details of any of the stories we share, since we are not directly involved with these stories, at least not most of the time. Enjoy the show.
This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
And from the border of liberty and prosperity and the highway to the north, this is Safety Wars for Monday, August 26th, 2024. How's everybody doing out there? We're winding down the summer here. I think it sucks this year. I don't know. So it's one of those things. Anyway, what are we doing? Doing a lot of things here. Yeah, so this past weekend I spent, let's just say this. Water and gasoline don't mix so well, and they don't mix worse when you put them in an outboard motor. Way it is. We had some water issues in our fuel line this week. It sucked. Well, we were good. We overcame. We have resilience. We have capacity. Way it is. Anyway, we're dropping stuff all over the place here. So we have an announcement to make. A pretty good announcement here. I just like the music. So, this October 25th, 2024, I will be a speaker at the local Lower Hudson Valley ASSP event over in Pomona, New York, October 25th. So, if you're a member of the ASSP, or even if you're not a member of the ASSP, we'll be hanging out there. We'll be doing some broadcasting, podcasting, God willing. And, we're giving a speech. We're giving a talk. What's the talk on? Leadership. That's what we're talking about. More information as we go further into it. Anyway, we did it last year. We were successful, and now we're doing it again this year because leadership is lacking in our industry. Real simple. We have problems with leadership. Now, we're going to go, what do we have? We have a story here with some on Respirable Crystalline Silica. So, Leon, if you are listening, I will send you a copy of this. So basically, this is what we're finding out. At least in Region 2, this area, out of the Tarrytown office in Westchester County, they've been having a focus on respirable crystalline silica. So if you have anything to do with respirable crystalline silica, right? So you're working with tiles, you're working with granite, you're working with road building or anything like that. Just getting myself something to drink here. Expect a visit from OSHA. And who do you call when you get a visit from OSHA? 845-269-5772. Right? And some other stuff here. We all also, and I'd like to point out, we are OSHA outreach trainers in all 4 disciplines out there with OSHA, right? That's general industry, disaster response, maritime, and construction. I think I got all of them. And I got a call today. Someone did not need some maritime training. Now, there's been some changes to the maritime industry. It used to be 5 years that outreach training was good for. Now, as far as federal OSHA is concerned, it's permanent. So a lot of the people that I've been doing maritime training for, whether it's marine terminals or if it's shipyards, they're giving me calls. And I'm like, yeah, good news for you. Now we could do one. We can do the whole thing. Now, the other thing is this. I get regularly this. I get calls on mold issues, because if you look on my full credentials, I'm a certified indoor environmentalist. I have some experience with mold, and I have a credential for mold. And what we find out is, a guy calls me up. He says, starts giving me some questions and everything else. And what I point out is, I do not normally do mold anything. One, I'm not licensed in the state of New York or any other state. However, I do answer questions on mold for free. I don't charge, usually. And the questions usually end up like this. 1, am I being scammed? And 9 times out of 10, I'm going to tell you, you're being scammed. There are not a lot of mold contractors out there. Now, so for example, do the job properly, at least in my opinion. What happens is, I can't say the number of companies, I'll say the number of mold inspections out there. What do I mean? You have certain companies out there that are charging bargain basement rates, like $500, $400, right? Something along those lines. And they'll come out and they'll do a quote-unquote mold inspection. Often they do not go out there and do things up to industry standards. Often they will pull fast ones. So, 2, and this is not the one that happened today, this is one that happened a couple of years back. I get a phone call, hey, Jimmy, blah, 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 blah. Okay, great. And I go and I do size and send me over the paperwork, and we start looking at it. I said, okay, for this one, I have to do a site visit. So I go and I do a site visit. And what do I find out? All right. This was an apartment building. Now, this is a true story. This is a true story. I'll change some of the names to protect the guilty and the innocent and everything else. Anyway, I go out there and I'm looking at the report. Okay, where's the property? Let me take a look at it. They did mold sampling. They did what is called non-viable, meaning the dead mold, and that includes pollen, that includes a lot of stuff in there, stuff that you're not going to grow on a petri dish. And they go out there, okay, Jimmy, blah, 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 here are the results. And I'm looking at the results. And I'll start with the recommendations. The recommendations were that they needed a complete mold remediation. Of course, they recommended somebody. Which that's something that you don't want to do necessarily. You don't want the same company doing the mold remediation as doing the assessment. Minor conflict of interest, you might say there. So what ends up happening is, I go there, okay. And they have baseboard heating, window air conditioning. This is a apartment building. And this is a maybe 400 square foot row house sort of thing. As my mother would call railroad rooms, right? One after another, all in a series. You can't get to one without going through another. And one room without going through another room entirely, right? They're in series. So I go in there. There's a room air conditioning on one end. There's room air conditioning on the other end. And there's no basement associated to this, so they have baseboard heat. So I look at the recommendations. What do the recommendations say? You're going to love this one. They say, you need a complete mold remediation. All the HVAC systems have to be cleaned out. And here's your price for cleaning them out. Well, there's no HVAC system. Okay. Number 2, your entire basement has to be remediated. This is where the mold comes from. There was no basement here to this building. Okay. You have to evacuate this building because this is an immediate emergency. And I look at the sample results. The samples for these non-viable stuff. Okay, that's the TV upstairs, I think. The samples from the non-viable stuff is so dangerous, so urgent a situation, is so bad, so huge that they collected the samples on a Monday. Just FYI, I never collect samples on a Friday. It's always Monday through Thursday because I want to get them to the lab, and if I got to overnight them and everything else. No, it's done on a Thursday to make sure they get there. So he collects them on a Monday. When does he submit the samples for testing and analysis? Not that week, the following week on the Friday. Why do they do that? Because they're collecting all these samples and they're sending them in for the cheap rates at the laboratory. And then they were paying for the standard overtime, which is standard turnaround time, which is normally anywhere from 72 hours to 5 days. Turnaround time, they get them back. So this really urgent situation that you got to evacuate the whole building from now you're 3 weeks into it, a little bit over 3 weeks by the time you get the results. Okay. I get the results, and I'm looking at them.